Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst Live with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80, brought to you by General's Joe's Reborn. Well, I suppose I'm not brought to you by General's Joe's Reborn, but the show is. It wasn't like Justin birthed me in order for me to. Anyway, that's irrelevant. Hope everyone's doing well this fine evening. It's a little bit later than I would usually go on, but got back in a little bit late, wanted to have something to eat first rather than during. I know some of you guys hate that. So yeah, we've got some news to talk about today. Two bits of news that popped up today. Firstly, the Selfie series, a few details came out, not to a lot of people's, not a lot of people were too impressed about the news out of Hasbro for the Selfie series. And of course, on top of that, Minimates, a Ninja Force box set. Could you believe it? So yeah, lots of cool stuff to get into today. Lots of discussion to be had. Thanks for jumping on. If you're watching, please, yeah, throw us a like. Someone just did. Thank you very much. Hello to Michael, Jean Fleming. Hello to Tags, Andrew, Clark, Paul Galliano, and Diecast Nick. So everyone, whoever's watching, what's up? How's it going? Awesome. Right then, so let's get stuck into the actual news, if it's all, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. Actually, hold fire for 2 seconds while I completely forget that I didn't do something earlier. Just, you know, how I always do about this time. Actually, let's just go for it. Nearly got there in time, but I didn't give myself enough time. Didn't prep properly for this one. Apologies. So yeah, before I went on then, I hadn't got the slides ready. And then when I got it ready, the video just wasn't long enough for me to do things in the background. Typical, that, isn't it? Absolutely typical. Well, let's start off then by talking. Hello, Andre, in a Hosa, and Jason Mitchell as well. And yeah, great to have you all aboard chatting about this news. So yes, Hasbro's Selfie series. We got some details earlier today on Gizmodo. I'm utilizing this image because it was the only G.I. Joe image in the article, and it shows a particular female holding a Scarlet figure with her likeness on, which is pretty cool. Again, we pretty much know the details regarding, we know most of the details regarding the Selfie series. We know how it's going to operate. We've seen, for most of us, I've seen, if you haven't, there are plenty of videos online if you want to check it out, how the process will work utilizing the Hasbro app, the Hasbro Pulse app. And yeah, so we'll go through some of those details, and I've taken out some of the elements of the article, probably just all of it when I think about what I've taken out of this article. And we can just go through them quickly here. So first off, it's starting this Friday, September 30th. Collectors who've always wanted to immortalize themselves as a 6-inch action figure can download the Hasbro mobile app on either Android or iOS and use it to order a custom Selfie series figure. But as you can probably imagine, placing an order is not quite as easy as buying a new release figure with a few clicks on the Hasbro Pulse website, given the customization involved with these. Now, we know what the customization is. And yet, this is only in the United States, isn't it, at the moment? I imagine once they've grown all those different territories in different parts of the world, then they'll probably end up doing that. Unfortunately, Paul, no more full course. Certainly not for tonight, no. It is a late one, Diecast, and I apologize for that. But yes, here we are. Oh, Tags, your Blue Ninjas are in tomorrow. I'm excited for you. I really enjoyed them. Anyway, so we know that it's this Friday, September the 30th, and if you're in the USA with an Android or iOS phone, and I believe the phone has to have some level of, well, we'll get to that. So that's the day. Moving on, ordering is being limited to the Hasbro mobile app for the simple reason that anyone wanting a Selfie series figure needs to submit headshot photos, and all modern smartphones include front-facing cameras with enough resolution to easily capture the images needed to generate a 3D model. The ordering process requires at least 5 headshots to be submitted, including a required front view, plus several angled shots from the left and right with even lighting, nothing obstructing the face, and using the same facial expression in every photo. Again, it's all done on the app, and it takes you through it very, very easy. It's a very easy process. I've seen it a bunch of times now, and yeah, it's very simple. I'll get to all your kind of comments and questions in a sec, guys, because we are getting to the punchline. Do not worry. But yeah, simple stuff so far, right? The ordering process then requires customers to make several different decisions, including selecting a hairstyle that best matches their own from one of 50 different options, their hair color, their facial hairstyle from one of 14 different options, and then what action figure they want to become. The choices include yada, yada, yada. We all know what is available. Now, something that's interesting in there is obviously the amount of hair options is pretty, incredible. I don't think they're going to have mine. I have a pretty high sweep when I do my hair. You haven't seen it for a long time because I wear hats all the time. But there are images out there of me with my high sweep. So we'll see. We'll see if they've got the McLeod haircut. If not, that's a short back and side, like almost like shaved back and sides, with a huge sweeping coif. Anyway, I'll find a haircut that I like on there. I'm sure I will. But yeah, so it's good to know there's a lot of options, and of course facial hair options too, which is a good one. But again, we kind of know all this. Again, this is USA based only, guys. Yeah, we're aware of this, and it does. To me, it feels kind of like a little testing the waters in the United States first before they, broaden their horizons, as it were. But this is the killer, I think. Yes, this is the killer. In July, Hasbro they didn't specify a $60 price tag, did they? I'm pretty sure that was a leak. I don't think it was specified. I could be wrong. Maybe it was specified during SDCC. I forgot. Obviously, it's been out since the leak, hasn't it? Okay, yeah. So probably it was specified $60 price tag. And I think had that leak not happened, we wouldn't be. I think because obviously there was a big outcry here because they're going to be more expensive. The company announced they'll be slightly more expensive. $20 is not slightly more expensive. I'm sorry. That 60 to 80 is a big jump. Okay, that's not a slightly more expensive, but that's been worded very interestingly there. But we'll still include packaging tailored to the figure type selected. I would hope so. Why would they change anything? If they're literally pumping the money up, why would that diminish anything else that you're getting from it? That's an odd thing to say, but still, I guess. What hasn't changed is how long it takes for the submitted photos to be turned into a 3D model and then 3D printed. By the way, this is from the article on Gizmodo. I think I mentioned that at the beginning. Can't remember if I did or not. This isn't like a press release. This is, just they're getting the information early and they're busting it out. So this is interesting. What hasn't changed is how long it takes for the submitted photos to be turned into a 3D model and then 3D printed. Delivery times start at 45 days from the time of ordering. That's not bad, actually. But that can change over time as demand increases, up to 60 days. That's still not too bad, considering we've been waiting literal years for some figures. I'll wait to see what that's about, honestly. Anyway, Tag says not paying $100 Canadian when it's $80 USD. I don't blame you, Tags. Honestly, you guys do get a bit screwed out there. Andrew says, feels like they're shooting themselves in the foot before they even begin. Collectors might be used to a price point like that, but the regular folks this is aiming for are going to balk. They are, Andrew. I think a lot of collectors have, honestly. Actually, I have seen a lot of people kind of say, and I'm kind of in a similar boat, because I was surprised at the $59.99 price tag when it was leaked. When that leak happened, I was like, it actually feels like quite cheap for what you'd be getting. And obviously now we're in a situation where I just saw a cool comment I'm going to highlight in a second, Ree. There was a feeling like at the time I thought that's actually really cheap. So I was surprised, but I'm even more surprised that they've cranked it up. They've cranked up to this price now. That just seems like a weird PR move on Hasbro's part there. But again, is what it is, I guess. Still, I'm like I said, I'm not too happy that it's been jacked up to $80. That's going to significantly decrease the McLeod army building scenario to probably just one. Anyway, Ryan says no Ewok body, no sale. I'm with you on that one, buddy. I would love my head sculpt on an Ewok body. That would be amazingly bad as well. You'd have to just get like that part of your face done, Ryan. So like you had all the fur around the top and the headgear. Amazing. Tag says, I can take 20 pictures and add it to a Blender app and make a 3D render to print the long thing they can do to do better is print quality. Yeah, I think, technology's come a long way, and I think people have been able to get their own kind of customized head sculpts, haven't they? Yeah, big time. Andrew says, genuinely wonder if this is a Disney thing when you look at the price hikes with Marvel and Star Wars, Hasbro, but are absent in the other lines. Yeah, that's a good point, actually, Andrew. Maybe that has got a lot to do with it, because obviously it would be weird, wouldn't it, if Star Wars people were paying more for this, or Marvel people were paying more for this than like the G.I. Joe crew and everything. So maybe it's just something that we've had to bear the brunt of because of Disney. Possibly, it could be. This is the comment I wanted to highlight. Hello, Ree, and hello, Vader, and Uncle Chris. That's so sweet. That is literally my niece. So love to Vader and Viv, and to Drew and Ree, and to Kenton Valley. To all of you guys, love you very much. And thanks for the comment, Ree. Really appreciate it. And get some love to Vader. Andre says, pretty cool idea, although I'm not willing to pay $80 for them to have a scan of my head forever. yeah, I don't mind. They can have mine. I'd crank out a bunch of like characters with my face. I'll be well up for that. I wouldn't even want paying for it. I don't care. Just use it. Tag says, how about just a head with no body for $25? Actually, do you know what? That would be a good little side thing, wouldn't it? It's like, I feel like, if you went to like a Disney park or something, when these, like, because you could kind of do these things back in the day with certain, they used to do them a lot more, didn't they? Kind of back in the day, and kind of specifically, and I know like Disney had like a couple of things with the Marvel figures. So yeah, and Star Wars actually. But yeah, I think it would be cool if they offered in the future. Yes, you can have the full thing if you want a full thing, if you'd like a casual fan or whatever. And if you're just a customizer who wants a head of yourself and you want like a head on other figures and that stuff, then maybe you could get just the head done. I think that would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool, Tags. I'd be up for that. I tend to agree about that. Hasbro doesn't necessarily care. I feel like they care to a point, and then it's more about, they're a business at the end of the day. But I wouldn't say, I think like Hasbro in as a whole, it's a bit kind of like blanket to say like they don't care about us. Like I definitely feel like in certain brand teams, in all of the brand teams, there's a definite customer care, and like a fan facing kind of like definite feeling of like, we want to get you stuff that you enjoy. There should be stuff that you enjoy at the end of the day. So I certainly agree that some aspects of the Hasbro company don't care necessarily about the individual tags 100%. Christopher Goslant says, I'd get it in a second if they had green shirt or Cobra Trooper body. That'd have been kind of cool, wouldn't it, actually, Chris? Yeah, I'd have been into that. What's up, Sergeant Slaughterhouse? How you doing? I got my Iron Spider today, says Tags. Awesome. How is it? Let us know. Yeah. Diecast Nick. Yeah, I only really want my face on a green shirt or Steel Brigade. Feels bizarre with my head on Snake Eyes, etc. Again, I think if you're like kind of more than just a kind of casual fan, if you're like you kind of in the, you're kind of in it a bit deeper than that. For and again, like it doesn't. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm not saying that it's more relevant or more valid. What I'm saying is, I think if you're in it a bit deeper, you kind of like you want to be on like you said, like Steel Brigade or like a trooper or a green shirt or something. That would be kind of cool, and you could kind of make more of a character out of it rather than being like you're literally Snake Eyes. I think the idea here is that they want a bit more of a commercial, a bit more of a broad reach, and they're throwing in like the like the feeling of you could be this character. And I think kids like that kind of thing, don't they? I mean, I wanted to be Spider-Man, and I wanted to be He-Man, and I wanted to be She-Ra and Gem. I'm throwing those out there because I did. Like I wanted to, you want to be those characters. So like, yeah, I think for us though, or for a definite section of the fandom, including yourself, obviously, and I would put myself in there too. I would want a head sculpt to go on something else. Like I wouldn't be getting that figure and leaving it as Snake Eyes. I'd be busting that head off, and it would be going on something else. It'd be customized, etc., etc. So yeah, yeah. But thanks for the comment, Diecast Nick. Just say Nick, really, shouldn't I? What's up, Malcolm? Hello, David. Neil Hill says Selfie series too expensive. Says Baron von Repaint. Is that what you're sticking with now, Neil? Is that the net? I'll call you the Baron from now on. Then repaints for the Baron. Adam says I'd be far more inclined to accept the price if I could use it on any Hasbro body, but they don't all share the same the size neck ball joint. You're right, and that would be a little bit of a. I'll tell you what, it's a bit more of a mission, but it can be customized. But I know what you mean, Adam. You just want to be able to go pop, 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 and just like put it on anything, don't you? Totally agree with you. And that's the thing. It'd be nice. It'd be cool when we start getting these figures coming through, and people can like do a really good proper spot check to see what it can fit on, because that would be really interesting to know. But yes, Adam, that's a very good point. Damien Ristori says, hi, not wanting to go off topic, not a problem. I go off topic all the time. But similar to the Indiana Jones figs on the horizon, I'd actually suggest James Bond figures to celebrate the 60th could be popular. Actually, could be some cool ass figures. Yeah, Damien, I know a lot of people that be into James Bond figures like that. And I'm, I remember that reminds me of the James Bond Jr. cartoon and the James Bond Jr. figures and the toys, because they were like in our UK toy aisles, like they filled the aisles for so many years in the 90s. Thank you, Damien. That's a good shout, mate. And don't worry about going off topic. It's cool. Malcolm says, my concern with these look-alike figs is that they won't actually look like us. I don't know. Some of the head sculpts I've seen are pretty cool. I think it's a lot better than you expect. And I'm kind of excited. I'm still excited to see what a ridiculous head sculpt of myself looks like. Yeah, a few people, Paul as well, saying that they'd be on board for just the head at like the 25 to 30 range. Diana Davis says she still hasn't heard if I can selfie the cats. You probably could, but my goodness, you'd have to like hold it, that would be a mission in itself, just getting the cat, Diana, to look in the right direction. You'll be moving the phone around, like holding its head. Yeah, that's not happening, is it? Cobra Kitty, amazing. Cobra Kitties. Claude would make a good Snake Eyes or Postman Pat the black and white cat. Yes, he would. Oh, that would be cool. Ryan says, should be allowed to put your selfie face on Serpentor, then you can be the genetic blend of history's greatest warlords. That'd be wicked. Cool. Okay, guys, I think we've talked about this enough. $80 sucks. But I'm still probably going to try this out as a one-off, honestly. Even at 60, I think it was going to be a one-off. At 80, it's definitely a one-off. We'll see. I was kind of hoping that, yeah, we could get something with the Selfie series where, yeah, you could just get the head, but you know, it's not that end of the world. If you want one, if you really, really want one, the option is there. If you don't want it for whatever reason, may it be cost or you're not really that into it or whatever, you don't have to get it. If you're one of those people that's in that kind of position of you wanted it at $60 and now it's 80 and that kind of pushes you out a little bit, that there is definitely a lot of people in that bracket. And I was kind of nearly one of them. And I was still kind of thinking, but you know, we'll see on Friday. And again, you don't even have to get it on Friday. You could order it whenever. And you know, it's going to be around for at minimum, I don't know, a month. I don't know how long it's going to be around. If it does really well and it's really popular, then it's not going to look like the last we'll see of this as a thing. They'll want to keep pumping this stuff out. Anyway, hi Yorktown Joe, late to the stream. Any update on glasses? Nope. Oh, you mean on the Selfie series figures? No glasses. I think we've been aware of that for a while now. Yeah, so no glasses. It's basically just I think you got to take your glasses off for the thing, obviously. And then that one guy did have glasses, but they were custom ones that he'd had previously. So there was a video going around. It was Norm from Adam Savage's YouTube channel, and he had the whole Selfie series done and did like a whole video on it. And he has glasses, but he used glasses that he had customized ages ago and put them on the figure. So yeah, unfortunately, no, I don't think they're doing glasses on it. Anyway, okay then, that is that for that. Yeah. Let's move on to the next news item. Yeah, there's 2 news items today, and I'm going to explode between them while we're doing it. Might as well, eh? Treat it like a weekly now. Yes, Diamond Select Toys, Ninja Force. What? Ninja Force Minimates revealed. Now, this is great. This is so great. So this is going to be an NYCC exclusive, but it will be going up. Oh, well, actually, I think you can actually, excuse me. Excuse me. Pre-orders open Thursday, October the 6th. Okay, that's, yeah, so there you go. Thursday, October the 6th at 12 a.m. EST. So that's next week, 12 a.m. EST. So if you're interested in this, link in the description if you want to get ready for that drop. It will be $30. It is a Ninja Force VHS Minimates box set. It's the NYCC 2022 exclusive, and it is adorable. It's adorable. Also on that link, there's only a max of 2 units. No, Andrew, it's not Dr. Venom. That's Dr. Biggles Jones. So basically what you end up getting, well, this was the post. So, Yo Joe, we're taking it back to the VHS days, even though, well, I suppose Deke was on what's the word? Deke was on VHS. However, I don't think that Snake Eyes was. We're taking it back to the VHS days. Snake Eyes, Scarlet, and Storm Shadow team up to take on the Cobra scientist Dr. Biggles Jones in the Ninja Force VHS Minimates box set. NYCC 2022 exclusive. Pre-order at there. And again, that's in the description downstairs. Downstairs? Below me. Excuse me? What did you say? Below me. It sounds like you're saying... anyway, so this is what we're getting, and this is what I think is just absolutely adorable. So this is the sleeve. This is the slide sleeve cover, right? Kind of like mixing up the comic cover from that issue. I can't remember what issue number it was, and I don't think Talking Joe is on at the moment. They did post when I posted on Facebook, and I've just ignored and forgotten. Or maybe it was on Twitter. Maybe it was on Twitter. But anyway, it was. It's homaging a comic cover, of course, from the Marvel run. And it's yeah, again, you might know in the comments what number it is. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they've done it in the VHS style. So it's like if this was on on tape, which is adorable. So yeah, this is the outer sleeve. So this is like the kind of it would be the VHS cardboard case. So this is what I'm really excited for this, because this is brilliant. I love it when licensees do this with the brand rather than just hitting the same core characters month after month after month. Yes, we're getting core characters, but different versions that we don't see that often. So this is awesome. So love the fact it's in like that VHS slipcover. On the front, like I said, you've got that kind of homage to the comic issue. And then on the back, you've got the information as if it was, like I say, a VHS. And I love all the logos at the bottom. There's a lot of logos involved here. Diamond Select Toys, Minimates, Hasbro, New York Comic Con, and something else. But anyway, so really fun. And again, it's got a little breakdown on the back as well, and just fun little bits and pieces. Features Snake Eyes, Scarlet, Storm Shadow, and Dr. Biggles Jones, which is brilliant. Now, once you slide the slipcover off, on one side, you get that faux videotape, which is just amazing. 2-night rental. Man, God, I remember those. I remember I would get, so we had a video store down our road in Munsley in Norfolk. You never would have heard of it. And in that it was a little seaside village, tiny little video shop. It was like the size of a closet, and you could only fit 1 or 2 people in at a time. And if you were looking around, you'd have to move clockwise or whatever. Otherwise you'd be like having to get married to the person. Anyway, I remember in there they'd always have Action Force the movie, they would have Pyramids of Darkness, Ode to Cobra and Captives of Cobra was a double feature, all Action Force, by the way. And what was the other one they had? They had another one as well that I forget off the top of my head. Was it the No Place Like? I think it's There's No Place Like Springfield. I think it was that. No, it was A Spy Who Rooked Me. So yeah, that's right. There's No Place Like Springfield and The Spy Who Rooked Me. So they had those in the video shop, and I would get them out all the time. I was like the only person that booked them out. Like I remember one weekend. Either the movie or Pyramid of Darkness was booked out, and I was like, who? I'm the only person in this little town, this little village, this little seaside village who should be ordering this. But yeah, 2 night rentals. Get it on Saturday, got to take it back Monday. Never did. I'm just kidding. I did all the time. I was very considerate. Right, anyway, yeah, people loving this already, which is great. Edison Kelly, are you going to get one of these, or are you going to get a Selfie series figure? Let me know. Either way, I'm just going to assume both. Love the VHS design, Nycc. I know you're starting to say box Diane, I'm just being an idiot. But yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? And obviously sorry, I hadn't even finished what I was describing. So on one side, you got the faux videotape reels and everything, flip it round. And I love all the stickers on it as well. Really fun. Flip it around and you've got a little window box, which is absolutely brilliant. Bees Battleground says, bring on the Minimates, but we're still waiting for the 2 single carded 4-packs. Yes. Are we still? Yeah. I mean, I've got one of those. But yeah, I think I know what you're saying. There's the other one, isn't that like real new one with the 4 Cobras in it, like Cobra Commander, Storm Shadow, Destro, and Baroness, is it? Is it Baroness? I think so. Anyway, yeah, or Destro. Might be Destro. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You'll probably end up getting this one before those. Bryn says the VHS box looks great, but I'm not into Ninja Force. Bryn, out you go. The door's there. I'm just kidding. Yes, this was when Megatron was in the Marvel run, Diecast Nick. Absolutely. When Megatron jumped into the Marvel run. I had the funny thing is I always need to get that G2 Megatron whenever it comes out because of his connection to Action Force and G.I. Joe or G.I. Joe. Andre says it's awesome. Actually, I'd have this Scarlet more than the OG one. Yeah, it's really fun. Funnily enough, guys, if you zoom in, I think what's happened here. This was pointed out to me by Andrew Franks earlier today. He said it looks like Scarlet's got her kind of like weapons that are usually on her back on her nipples. So if you zoom into that image, you can see that the torso is very likely the wrong way round because she should have stuff on the front, shouldn't she? So I think that if they flip that round, they've just obviously made an error in displaying that. But I think that's really funny, by the way, that she would be carrying those weapons rather than on the back, just kind of like dangling there. Hilarious. Robert H says, first Hot Rod and RC and now this. Minimates is making things I might have to get. This is the thing, though, I think with these kind of licensees, with these kind of companies, there's always that core character hump. They always have to get over that. And it's always like, do Cobra Commander, Destro, Snake Eyes, obviously. I should have said Snake Eyes first. Storm Shadow, Scarlet, Baroness. It's that. And it's always that. And then they run out, they don't have the license anymore. Or they don't sell very well, so they drop it, or they don't do any more. And then but then like these kind of things I personally want from these kind of like all the merch and the different companies that have the license. I want them to do this kind of cool stuff. There's a kind of hint here of that kind of crossover club thing with the Transformers box set on the modern 4-inch figures that had the Rat Bat and the all the other different like little bits and pieces in there. I think that is kind of like way more interesting for me than this same old stuff. Yes, in a different style or scale, but the same old thing. And I just love I love it when we get things like this. Yes, it's Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and Scarlet, but my goodness, it's like they're versions that you never see that often. So yeah, really happy about this. Really happy about this. Yes, Andrew. I think that I've seen the Turtles one. Yeah, they have a VHS one as well. Yes. Michael says these will probably be my first Minimates. Yep, go for it. You loved the Ninja Force growing up, and these were my first Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. Nice. This was what was my first? My first Storm Shadow was V2. My first Snake Eyes was also V2, but he would have been International Hero, Action Force International Heroes V1 technically. So yeah, I like. There's always that connection to those particular characters when you have them first, and yeah. I have a really strong connection to Ninja Force though, because I was so excited when I saw it in stores in the States on a holiday, and I grabbed, I think it was Dojo, Nunchuck, Snake Eyes, and who else did I get that time? I didn't get Chabang, never saw him as a kid, and didn't get Storm Shadow either. Oh, and didn't get Zartan. So I've got a monthly dropping tomorrow by the looks of things, because I've nearly finished the edit, and myself, Pat, and Justin talk about deluxe G.I. Joe figures we want to see. So that'll be happening tomorrow. So after this, I will get all that sorted and finished and then drop it tomorrow. And you'll have a nice big monthly to enjoy for the month of September. And then we'll be doing the same again next month. We're at the first week with the first month. This episode coming tomorrow is going to just be about the Cobra Deluxe figures that we'd like to see. And then next month, we're going to be doing the G.I. Joe team. So don't worry, there will be, more. But like the last episode we did, the last monthly we did, I ended up doing all at once with both of them, and we could have split it into two pieces, and we kind of should have done, because it ended up being like 2 hours long with aversion therapy as well. So yeah, just expect fun monthly extras tomorrow. It's a really good episode, if I do say so myself, and I've edited it as well. So sorry, Diana, I don't know what that's in reference to, but I'm going to keep moving. Adam says, do you ever wonder if the person that got that VHS got it by mistake? Do you imagine they enjoyed it? I don't think they got it by mistake, Adam. I think that someone did genuinely get it for their kid, or for like another like Action Force sold hugely well in the United Kingdom when we were kids. Like, it was just as popular as G.I. Joe was in the US. Not kidding you. Like, every kid had Action Force in some way, shape, or form at that time. And if they were like, in my age bracket or my age range, it was massive. And they did bloody well with it. And they kept selling it all the way through to 93, 94 as well. So it's not like it was like the numbers were great. And basically, I know there were other kids into it, but just I was like super obsessed stupidly. And yeah, I would constantly get the thing and book it out every single weekend. There were probably people going in there going, oh, it's still not in. Well, that Chris McLeod probably keeps getting it because he's an idiot. But yeah, my mates were into it as well down the street. Like, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Need to find out though, don't we? Robert H says, still want Minimates to do vehicles, just how smoosh they are, like the Halo Warthog. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Little G.I. Joe Minimates vehicles would be so good. Hello, Renegade Biker. 100% love to see 6-inch versions for Red Shadows and Baron Ironblood, Damien. 100% would love to see that. I still think, I still think it's a possibility with Hasbro, because it's their IP still. They own that. So they could easily bust out a Red Shadow and a Baron Ironblood easily. They've already had the crossover in comics, and that was, because that was their IP. So 100% they could do it in figures. The problem is, do they see it as profitable for them? Like, do they think a lot of American customers are going to go for it? Now, Tiger Force Outback has been pretty popular, even though you can't bloody get him. Like, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. I can only imagine how frustrated like the Joe Brand team are right now with just how impossible it is. You know, I mean, I say that. I mean, I have got figures through, like the Blue Ninjas came through, which was great, but they shouldn't they have been with Kamakura? You know what I mean? Like, it's just so like disjointed, and there's not much they can do about it. But you know, it's just. But yeah. Anyway, Damien, to answer your question, yes, I would love 6-inch versions of Red Shadows and Baron Ironblood, and I do kind of expect something like that in the future. I don't know when, but I just expect it. Maybe an SDCC exclusive, or maybe even a Hasbro Pulse UK exclusive. Now that GI Joe is solely through Hasbro Pulse, that's a bit sore though, isn't it? Now it's everything's changing, and I don't like it. At least the thing is, though, from what I'm aware of, there are plenty of figures coming. It's just when. And I'm not talking about the ones we know about. I'm talking about ones that they've announced, stuff they haven't announced. There's a lot coming, guys. So I just don't know when the world sorts itself out and things get smoother. I just don't know when it's going to happen, but I just hope it does. One more image I want to show you, yeah, is the kind of flat version of the VHS tape, and it's got that sticker across it. Now, what I like about this is just the nostalgic feeling I'm getting right now of that sticker that would be along the back. That sometimes, you know, when you had like a VHS that you would tape over lots, you know, you'd put the sticker on yourself and you'd write on it, and you know, whatever it was on there. My goodness, I still have most of our VHS tapes. I mean, I have all of my Action Force VHS tapes still, and I got them sent away to be cleaned and digitized onto DVDs. I had them on DVD, I had them digitized, so like every episode is kind of like safe, if you know what I mean, and backed up. That was like one of the things I wanted to do for so long. And then when I got in touch with this guy in the UK who did that, he cleaned VHS tapes and he transposed them onto DVDs. And I sent him, it was really cheap as well, sent him all of my VHS tapes and some of a friend of ours. I can't remember who it was that gave us those VHS tapes now, but it was a friend of the channel, friend of, you know, back in the UK. And basically this whole bag full of VHS, I sent them to him. He cleaned them because they get mold and stuff on them, and then like they get really crappy. He cleaned them so well that the VHS, the DVD transposition looked amazing. So yeah, really excited about that. Captain K, we'll see about that. I'll see about that in some way, shape, or form. Maybe like, this is the thing though, like I'm not selling it, but yeah, again, it's not exactly out. Actually, there is actually, I tell a lie. You don't actually have to get them from me, because someone else has done exactly the same thing, and there's a link somewhere. I don't know what the link is off the top of my head, obviously, because it's ridiculous. But you can actually find all those episodes of Action Force on a website. God, if anyone's watching that knows what I'm talking about, because they were the ones that someone told me on this channel. In actual fact, it was a while back, but it's still available. I'll try and work that out, Captain K, for the next episode, and then I'll try and put that link in somewhere, or try and share it or something on our socials. But yeah, keep an eye out. Anyway, that's it for the news on Minimates. I'm just really excited they're doing this Ninja Force set. It's so adorable, so cute. And yes, that is a different hairdo for Scarlet, isn't it, Diana? But it's kind of, they're doing it very closely to the Ninja Force one, I think. I hope it does fit on the Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. That'd be so much fun, wouldn't it? Having that. Oh, I see. Sorry, I see what you mean. There's 2 hairstyles in the box. I see what you're saying. That's even cooler. So yes, you can have 2 different styles. I'm hoping that, yeah, you can put it on the Snake Eyes, because that would be hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, I don't know what I don't know why I kind of went crazy there. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, let's switch the old the old visuals, and we'll get back to just we'll do the warm down, as it were. Is that a thing? Oh, it is now. Yeah, let's do the single faces, all the single faces. Robert H says, I still think that Action Force will be one of retail exclusive lines for classified, even if they have to call it International Heroes or something because of name trademarks. It could be. They could see them doing more kind of UK, EU exclusive things now that they're kind of switching G.I. Joe just to Pulse, which will absolutely just annoy so many Americans, won't it? When it's like, and well, me included to a degree, but like, you know, like not being able to get them. And it's like, that's how it feels. It's funny though, like I, I'm in the UK for many, many years, and you know, I get toys when I can. You know, pay a lot for shipping, import, all that kind of stuff. Especially like if I'm getting it from the US. US seem to get everything first, and then I move. The moment I move, the UK and Europe start getting everything first, and then it's like, how did this happen? And then COVID hits, and it just got like exponentially worse. And now, yeah, UK and are still getting it before everyone else. But now that's going to be changing quite significantly, which is quite sad. It is quite sad. I feel bad, honestly, for not just the independent retailers, but for a lot of the customers who have been like, you know, been able to get these things thanks to all these independent retailers. Anyway, Paul says, Chris, after this topic, can we talk classified a bit? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the likelihood that the Serpentor set will pave the way for a similar set of Destro V2 with this spoiler. That'd be cool. Well, I think that is, I mean, I assume like Destro and the Despoiler has got to be one, hasn't it? That's got to be one of your kind of action figure vehicle sets at some point in the near future. I'm not saying like even next year, but surely the year following that, which would be 2025, right? Oh, geez. So yeah, I think Destro and the Despoiler are an absolute dead cert. I think, what else do I think? What else? Well, obviously Televiper and the Trouble Bubble coming soon. There's so many. You see, we're going to be doing another monthly where we discuss our most wanted figure vehicle combos that make sense. So that's something that I'm really excited to kind of like get to talk about. We're also going to be another load of topics are going to be animal companions and figures as well, and like this, you know, that's like months and months of content now for monthlies, but I really enjoy talking about those and going into more detail and more depth with them. I think you're going to enjoy, like I said, the next monthly where we talk deluxes. But yeah, I think definitely, Paul, I think Destro and the Despoiler, I think it's almost like a dead cert that's going to happen. I'd also imagine, well, I'd be really surprised if we don't get like some sort of dreadnought and motorcycle. I feel like that's like so obvious. So maybe we'll get like a couple of dreadnoughts that have motorcycles at some point. Who knows? We'll find out, I suppose, Paul. But yeah, there's my classified figure vehicle know-how. Not really know-how, is it? Time to switch the Viz, absolutely, which I just did. Damien says Destro's Despoiler was the first G.I. Joe toy I bought in person as a kid, 1990-ish, cool toy and defo great for Hasbro. That's awesome as well, Damien. My first Destro was Destro International Heroes, usual version 1. But I did love, I didn't have his gold-headed version or the Despoiler until later years, so I didn't have it as a kid. But I did enjoy his Iron Grenadier. I had the Iron Grenadier, Annihilator, Targat, Voltar. I had literally every Iron Grenadier figure except Destro. It was just mind-blowingly annoying. But yes, Damien, that's cool, man. Malcolm says Chris needs his own late night show a la Space Ghost Coast to Coast, where he sits and talks smack with animated G.I. Joe personalities. Lady J, how many tips are on those spears? Oh, that's genius, Malcolm. I'd be up for doing something like that. That would be so much fun. Yeah, I'd be well into that. Adam Drake says, I knew a guy that put mini hairstyles on spanners and monkey nuts. Another Mighty Boosh reference. I love you for it, Adam. It's amazing. Damien says, Voltar is my most wanted figure for classifieds, then Lightfoot. Oh, man after my own heart. Thank you, Damien. I'm sure you're pandering. I'm just kidding. But Voltar, yeah, that's definitely one that might be up there for the Cobra figure and animal companions. Although that you could just do as a standard set, like Spirit behind me, which you can't see because my massive back is in the way. But yeah, Voltar would be awesome. And I think Voltar, the Iron Grenadiers, all those kind of figures need to happen pretty soon. And obviously Lightfoot, even though thanks to Ray Murphy, I do actually have a classified Lightfoot. You absolute legend, Ray. Thank you so much. He made a custom one for me for anyone else wondering. I did a video of it if you want to check it out. It's on the channel. Just scroll down the videos a little bit and you'll find it. Hello, James, AKA Ratface44. Aaron E. Nichols, I'm late. Have I missed much? Yeah. Talked about the Selfie series details from Gizmodo this morning. And of course, the DST Ninja Force box set Minimates figures that dropped a little bit later in the day. So yeah, covered two things. That's four things. Covered two things today. We'll be adding those to the weekly for Pat to have to dissect as well. Oh yes, Paul, definitely Dreadnoks, and for that matter, another Zartan with Swamp Skier. You could get away with another Zartan. I think it'd be really good to move away from that first mold now, because we've had it 3 times with the first release, with the Master of Disguise, and with the Retro Collection, which would be coming soon. And I imagine we'd probably be doing pre-orders for that this weekend, or at least, or that Walmart Collecticon, which follows it. Probably Walmart Collecticon. Anyway, 3 of them so far. I don't think we need a 4th one, but what we could do with is a Ninja Force Zartan. And if you did a Ninja Force Zartan, give him the motorcycle, just like the club did. Bang on. I'd love that. Love it. I love it. Malcolm says, I can literally do the animation for you. Just sit and talk to a pretend dummy for 5 minutes and we can do the rest. I was going to make a joke about I do that every week, but that would be really harsh to Pat because he's not a dummy at all. Build a J.R. Joda classifies says, I still say they should do a build a vehicle, have a wave of deluxe figures that come with parts to connect to create some smaller vehicles. Waves should be made out of army builders. Yeah, that could work. It's just difficult. It's logistically tough because like imagine the vehicle having to break the vehicle down. Obviously, it depends on the vehicle. Like I know Carson was dead set on having build a snake armor, and he always mentioned it whenever we did a Q&A with Hasbro. But I don't know if it necessarily works for G.I. Joe as much. But I personally think, and not to give anything away for our monthly tomorrow, but a build of Overkill or build a Bat would be far more interesting. Would make sense for me, because you can make it almost like build a droid kind of thing. Anyway, I won't say any more on that. You can watch the monthly. I've said too much. Not saying that that's the thing that we discuss a little bit like that. Are we doing PulseCon predictions or fantasies? I kind of already have done, Diana, but what I'm expecting, well, I haven't done fantasies actually, because it's one of those things where you kind of, when you're you kind of know some of the stuff that's coming, but you can't say what some of the stuff is coming. I can't like say that as part of my fantasy because I know it's coming, so I have to think of something else, and then it's like, I don't know, just a lot. You tell me what you want to see, basically. In terms of predictions, I fully expect kind of sculpt renders, maybe gray model sculpt, well, not gray model, but gray sculpt inputs of Low Light, Televiper, and the Trouble Bubble. I expect digital renders, fully digital renders of that wave, including like Shipwreck Torpedo, Copperhead, etc., etc. And I'm expecting, obviously, the physical figures and pre-orders for Outback, CoverGirl, Crimson Bat, Falcon, and Barbecue. Slaughter's Moore's Barbecue. That's what I'm expecting. Could be more. We could see Scrap Iron in a similar digital render. We could see... what do we know? We could see a bunch of stuff. Like, was it Grunt, Ripper, Tunnel Rat? We could see them in some way, shape, or form. So, yeah, hard to say, really. There's a lot they could be showing off. There's a lot that makes a lot of sense that they could be showing off. And then there's the unknown. And the unknown is the bit that kind of makes me the most excited, I think. Always does. Will Raptor only have one bird companion or a flock? Yeah, Ryan, that's a good shout. Maybe like 2 or 3 would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Or maybe like 2 would be kind of cool. And then, you could that would probably be enough in a standard box. Otherwise, you're talking Raptor the Deluxe, and then you'd need like a flock of birds, somewhere to store them, like an aviary. He'd have all sorts going on. It wouldn't be a bad thing. A Raptor Deluxe would be amazing. I kind of wish I'd added that to. No, I've chosen a really good one for my monthly option. I'm asking a question, not offering a choice. Thank you, Diane. Okay, yeah, cool. No worries. Yes, Robert H. Kangor and his kangaroo. Then we get Big Boa. But yeah, good shout. Oh, brilliant. Randry saw the new reaction wave today at Target. I grabbed Snake Eyes in disguise. Brilliant. Yeah, they're starting to kind of creep out there. They hit the shelves so much smoother than anything else, don't they? We always see reaction figures. I like that Luke's doing my job for me here. Like Luke Boulon, thank you very much. More than 60 watching and only 13 likes. By the way, Luke, I saw your was it like a reel today of you doing dance classes or dance whatever you were doing? Like, I'd love to see that. That'd be awesome. Like, see some of what you're doing. It's kind of like ballroom dance, isn't it? I think. But yeah, it looked funny because you were like knackered and you hit the deck and you were like pulling yourself towards your phone like I'm so tired. But anyway, yeah, I did see that and it looked cool. So yeah, I'd like to see you actually doing the thing. You might have videos on it. I should just look myself, shouldn't I? Anyway, it looked awesome. Damien says, I wonder after Serpentor, the next big box set could be Globulus. Sorry for spelling. Well, it's Globulus, but Globulus. I think there's a U at the end instead of an O. But that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Yeah, Globulus would be insane. And like, the big ball thing he comes with, wrap around him and he can wrap his tail inside it. And that'd be so cool. Yeah, he could come with some dope stuff as well. What's that thing that he puts in Dr. Mindbender's head? He could come with that. I forget what it's called, a neural implant or something. But anyway, yeah, that would be kind of cool. But then there's loads of other cool stuff. The time worm, the little time worm on the stick. Oh, that would be so adorable. But you could take the time worm off. Oh, I want a time worm. Time worm's the cutest thing ever. I want a full size time worm with a little mini stick. That's what I want. That needs to happen. GameStop need to do that. Forget the helmet. Just make a time worm for me, please. Classified USS Flag Bridge with keel haul. Bloody hell, Nick. That would be massive. I know it's just the bridge, but still, it would be huge. Diana says, I utterly sympathize with knowing and not being able to say, because knowing seems to be all of the battle, doesn't it? Cobra Eel 3D renders, says Andre Inojosa. Well, they haven't mentioned a Cobra Eel, but that would be cool. Yeah, Ryan says, as someone who isn't a completist, I'd rather the Joe team stayed away from builder whatevers. I have hundreds of orphaned Bath parts from Marvel Legend. Yeah, I reckon you could probably make your own character, Ryan, with the bits and pieces you have. Grunt, Ripper, Tunnel Rat, Snowjob, Shipwreck, Lowlight, Torpedo, Range Viper. We could see a ton of renders. Adam, yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about half of those. I forgot about Shipwreck. I forgot about Range Viper. My goodness, there's so many. Yeah, it could be a lot of renders, basically. Some of them are going to be sculpt, some of them are going to be fully digitally colored renders, and some of them will, well, like I said, not those, but we'll probably see those other figures ready to go in hand. Okay. Zoran the Barbarian says, hello, I'm expecting to see Mainframe and Lifeline. Thank you. Both of those, mate, are high on my want list, definitely. I agree big time, and Lifeline could be done so well too. Both of them could be done as deluxes, I think, and you could give them tons of cool stuff. So if they do a selfie series and Tunnel Rat is coming, do they scan Larry? I don't know. Maybe that would be kind of fun, wouldn't it, if it turns out that Larry got his likeness on that figure. The thing is, I'm not sure if they're allowed to do that now. Well, obviously they can do the likeness of celebrity, so I'm sure Larry would be fine. I'm sure that would be okay. Obviously they have to tell him about it and deal with him with it obviously. But yeah, I think that would be great, Diana. That would be so great. Ed says, I'd like a Big Joe box set, please. Cobra gets all the love in this line. It goes back and forth. But now you know, and knowing is literally all of the battle. It is, Malcolm. It is. They can definitely do Nemesis Enforcer. They have plenty of tooling they can borrow from. Well, they can't, is the question there, Geodo Glassrod. They can't share tooling across the brands, unfortunately. It's in, especially with Marvel. Marvel are very strict on that now. So the kind of the sharing between brands is not a thing anymore, unfortunately. Steven says, I'm hoping for some scrap iron reveals soon, including new launcher. Scrap iron reveal would be amazing. Robert H. Diana saying fantasy just made me imagine G.I. Joe re-envisioned as a medieval world of knights. And instead of being an arms dealer, Destro is a grand wizard of the commander's court. That's amazing, Robert. Right. Oh, Luke says, yeah, I'm a professional salsa bachata hustle dancer. Also have some interesting world title over the years. It's my second military specialty. Luke, that's awesome. Yeah, I've got to see that, dude. I'll be stalking you later. But that's brilliant, man. Thank you for getting back to me as well. I'm very excited for the Big Ben release, Renegade Biker. There's another one that was announced. Absolutely, very excited. Yeah. Tunnel Rat, says Michelle Hall. Absolutely. Tunnel Rat's a great... I'm just excited to see if there's anything Tunnel Rat related over PulseCon. Give me basic blue shirts, says Jeremy Kimberlin. Hello, Jeremy. Yeah, blue shirts would be kind of cool, wouldn't they? Like troopers. Yeah, I'd like that. That'd be well cool. Yes, so Soda says, I'm happy if they just show scrap iron with that kind of look Call of Duty drone. Yeah, he's gonna be getting something very cool. That's all I can say on that one. But it's very awesome. Anyway, that brings me to the end of the episode, guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to have the rest of my dinner. I had the first half of my dinner before jumping on, and now I'm going to have the rest of it. For those wondering, and Stephen Miller, you absolute legend. So whoever was asking me for those Action Force VHS tapes, yes, it was you, Stephen Miller. Thank you so much. You absolute legend. I believe it was you that sent me this in the first place, but there is an archive for the Action Force episode collection. Thank you so much for doing that, Stephen. I'm sure it was you that sent me that in the first place. I could be wrong. But anyway, that's where it is. Someone was asking for that earlier on YouTube. Go to our Facebook page, find this video. Stephen has put the link in the comments. There you go. And I will, that's great. Brilliant. Thank you so much for doing that hard work, Stephen. I'm glad you got that just before I finished. That's brilliant. Diana says, last thing, hey, don't forget the Saturday Morning Adventures trade paperback and hardcover 40th anniversary releases are next month. Awesome. I love Saturday Morning Adventures, and I will certainly be picking that TPB up. So 100%, and the hardcover for the 40th anniversary one as well. So thank you for that, Diana. Thanks for letting us know. Right then, guys, I will bring it to a close tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. See you kind of tomorrow, not necessarily. I might be live, depends. Depends what news happens. But we've got the monthly dropping tomorrow. I'll hopefully get it edited, finished tonight, and that'll go out tomorrow early on. So you'll have something to play with for tomorrow if there's no news. And then following that, we've got a very busy weekend. We'll be starting with episode 100 of the Full Force Weekly in the morning, where Pat and I are going to be doing our pre-show. And then obviously we're going to have PulseCon, and we don't know exactly what's going to be happening in terms of the reaction thing. It'll either just be me on me Todd as a news burst solo, or we'll get a couple of people involved, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, lots to look forward to this week, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for jumping on. I will see you cheese bags later. Stay fresh. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full Force! See you later. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, Full Force.
Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.